The soft beep of machines filled the cold room where Olivia Reeves slept inside her cryopod. The pod hissed open 6 months earlier than planned. Her eyes fluttered open as warm air rushed into her lungs. The ship computer had woken her because something was wrong. Olivia pulled herself out of the pod. Her legs felt weak after months of sleep. She grabbed her uniform and quickly dressed before making her way to the bridge of the colony ship. Horizon's Promise. The lights on the bridge were dim. Only emergency systems were active. Captain Samantha Vega was already there looking at the main screen with worry on her face. "What happened?" Captain Olivia asked as she took her seat at the navigation console. "We are off course," Samantha said. "We are not where we should be." The ship drifted while we slept. Olivia checked her instruments. The readings made no sense. They were supposed to be heading toward New Terra Earth's 5th colony. But the stars outside did not match any maps in the system. "How far off course are we?" Olivia asked, typing commands into her console. "Too far." Samantha replied, "The fuel reserves are at 20%. We can't turn back." Olivia felt cold fear in her stomach. They had 500 colonists sleeping in cryopods. They needed to find a habitable planet soon. The sensors detected something ahead. 3 objects moving toward them fast. The objects glowed with strange purple light. "Activate defensive systems," Samantha ordered. The objects might be asteroids. Olivia knew. They were not asteroids. They moved with purpose. The ship's scanner showed they were vessels made of crystal-like material. Strange signal came through the communication system. It sounded like music mixed with electronic noise. Olivia tried to understand it, but the computer could not translate. The crystal ships came closer. They were beautiful but threatening. Their surfaces reflected starlight like jewels. A beam of light shot from one ship toward Horizon's Promise. It hit something floating in space ahead of them, a small device that looked like a metal tree with glowing branches. The device exploded in a flash of blue fire. The crystal ships changed. They extended spikes from their hulls. Weapons ports opened. "They think we destroyed their beacon on purpose," Samantha said. "They think we attacked them." Olivia watched as energy built up in the crystal ships. She knew they were about to fire. There was no time to wake the other crew or explain. They meant no harm. "Send a message," Samantha ordered. "Make them understand we come in peace." Olivia tried all channels open, a human voice speaking across the void. But the crystal ships did not respond. Their weapons glowed brighter. Samantha made a quick decision. "Prepare for emergency jump." "But Captain, we don't know where we are," Olivia protested. "The navigation system can't plot a safe course. We have no choice," Samantha said. The crystal ships fired. Beams of purple energy shot toward Horizon's Promise. Olivia activated the experimental fusion drive. The engine was not meant to be used this way. It was dangerous, but they had no other option. The ship shuddered as the drive engaged. Energy flooded through systems never meant to handle such power. The space around them bent and twisted in impossible ways. Olivia watched her console in shock. The laws of physics seemed to break. The fusion drive created a bubble of distorted space around them. The energy from the crystal ship's weapons curved around the bubble. Some of it reflected back toward the attackers. One of the crystal ships cracked as its own weapon hit its hull. The others pulled back in what seemed like surprise. Olivia guided the damaged colony ship away. The fusion drive pulsed with strange fire that should not exist according to everything she had learned. The ship moved faster than it was designed to go, leaving the crystal ships behind. That should not have worked, Samantha said, staring at the readings. "What did you do?" "I don't know," Olivia admitted. "The drive responded in ways that defy our physics. Something about this region of space is different." They limped away from the encounter. The ship systems flashed warning signs. The experimental drive had saved them but damaged many ship functions. They could not go far. Olivia found a star system nearby with planets that might support human life. It was their only hope as they approached the system. Samantha gathered the command crew, who were now awake. She explained their situation. "We accidentally crossed into someone else's territory," she told them. "We don't know who they are, but they have technology far beyond ours. We damaged or destroyed what might have been an important marker to them. Now they see us as enemies, but we meant no harm," said Maya Chen. "The ships, Doctor, they don't know that," Samantha replied, "and we have no way to tell them. The translation systems can't understand their language." Olivia studied the star system ahead. It had 3 planets. One looked promising with blue oceans and green land. It also had several moons. One moon showed signs of minerals and resources they would need. "We should land on the moon," Olivia suggested. "We can build a colony there while we repair the ship." "We wake the colonists?" Maya asked. "We have no choice." Samantha said they came to build a new home. This will have to be it. For now, at least, as they prepared to wake the colonists from cryosleep, Olivia noticed something strange on her console. A signal coming from the moon. A weak electronic pulse that seemed artificial. She checked the scans again. There were structures on the moon, ruins of something built long ago. "Should we find another place to land?" Olivia asked, showing Samantha the scans. The captain studied the images. "No. We don't have enough fuel to reach another system, and the ship needs repairs soon. The ruins look abandoned. We will be careful." Olivia nodded but felt uneasy. The ruins looked similar to the design of the crystal ships they had encountered. What if they had fled one danger only, to land in another, as Horizon's promise descended toward the moon? Olivia watched the stars. One thought kept returning to her mind. They had done something impossible during their escape. The fusion drive had behaved in ways that defied explanation. What other impossible things might be waiting for them in this unknown region of space? And what would the beings in the crystal ships do when they found the humans again? The ship landed gently on the moon's surface. It was time to build a new home in a place where humans were never meant to be. A place where they had already made powerful enemies without even trying. 3 weeks had passed since Horizon's promise landed on the moon. The colonists named their new home New Haven. It was a good name for people who needed safety. Olivia stood on a hill overlooking the growing settlement. The colonists had built shelters, using materials from the ship and local resources. Small domes connected by covered walkways spread across the valley. Solar panels glinted in the sunlight, collecting energy for the colony captain. Samantha had organized the people well. Everyone had tasks. Scientists studied the moon, engineers repaired what they could of the ship, farmers prepared to plant earth crops in special greenhouses. Olivia turned to look at the ruins that stood a mile from the colony, strange structures made of crystal and metal. They looked like frozen waves rising from the ground. Beautiful but alien. Madeline Wright. The ship's scientist walked up the hill to join Olivia. She carried samples in clear containers. "Find anything interesting?" Olivia asked. "Everything is interesting," Madeline replied with excitement in her voice. "These ruins, they are old, maybe thousands of years. But some systems still have power." Olivia looked at her with surprise. "Active systems, after all this time?" "Yes," Madeline nodded. "Small energy, signatures. Nothing big, but definitely artificial, I think. Whoever built these structures used power sources that last much longer than ours." Olivia remembered the crystal ships that had attacked them. Could these ruins belong to the same beings? The 2 women walked toward the ruins together. Madeline led the way to an entrance she had discovered. The opening looked like a mouth in the side of a crystal wave. Inside, the temperature was cooler. The walls glowed with faint blue light. No one had figured out how the light worked. It seemed to come from the material itself. "This way," Madeline said. "I found something new today." They walked through curved hallways that seemed to flow rather than turn sharply. The alien design made Olivia feel small and young compared to the ancient builders. Madeline stopped at a wall that looked like all the others. She pressed her hand against it. The wall shimmered and became transparent, revealing a room beyond. "How did you find this?" Olivia asked, amazed. "I noticed energy patterns," Madeline explained. "Different from the rest of the ruins. This room has more power running to it." They stepped through the opening. The room was circular with a pedestal in the center. On the pedestal sat a device about the size of a basketball. It looked like crystal vines wrapped around a glowing blue core. It reminds me of the beacon we accidentally destroyed. Olivia said. Yes. Madeline agreed. I think whoever built these ruins also built those ships that attacked us. They might be part of the same civilization. Olivia approached the device carefully. She felt drawn to it. The blue light pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. Do you know what it is? She asked. Not exactly, Madeline admitted. But it generates power. The energy readings are off the charts but contained somehow. It's technology far beyond ours. Olivia thought about the strange behavior of the fusion drive during their escape. How space had bent around them in impossible ways. Could this be connected to what happened when we escaped the crystal ship, she asked. Madeline looked thoughtful. Maybe we should bring Kelly here. Kelly Winters was the ship's engineer. She had been studying the damaged fusion drive, trying to understand what had happened during their escape. The next day, Kelly stood in the room with Olivia and Madeline. She circled the device, taking readings with her equipment. Her eyes grew wider with each measurement. This is incredible, she said. This device manipulates energy in ways I can't explain it. Bends the basic rules of physics, like our fusion drive did. Olivia noted exactly. Kelly nodded. Too similar to be a coincidence. The fusion drive shouldn't have worked the way it did. But something about this region of space allowed it. And this device seems designed to work with those same principles. The three women spent days studying the device in the ruins. They found more rooms with strange technology. Most were dormant, but a few still functioned after centuries or maybe millennia of abandonment. Kelly connected some of her equipment to the devices, trying to understand how they worked. Madeline documented everything in scientific detail. Olivia helped both of them, while also maintaining her duties as navigator. One night, while working late, Kelly made a breakthrough. Look at this, she called to the others. Her computer showed energy patterns flowing from the central device. Complex waves of force that seemed to ignore normal physics. That pattern, Olivia said. It matches what our sensors recorded during the escape maneuver. I think these beings, whoever built this place, understood something about reality that we don't, Kelly explained. They found ways to manipulate energy and space that our science says should be impossible. Could we learn to use this technology? Madeline asked. Maybe, Kelly said. We would need time, but if we could understand it, we might be able to improve our defenses. Even find a way back to Earth. The colonists continued building New Haven. The settlement grew and became stronger. More permanent structures replaced the temporary shelters. Greenhouses produced the first crops. Teams explored the moon, finding valuable minerals and water sources. Captain Samantha organized regular meetings to discuss progress and problems. One evening, 2 months after landing, she called the colony's leaders together. We have a situation, she said. We detected signals from space. Something is coming. Olivia felt her heart race. Are they the same as the crystal ships? Similar, Samantha confirmed, but more of them. Many more. Our sensors count at least 30 vessels heading toward this moon. They will arrive in about 3 weeks. The room fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. The beings who had attacked them before had found them, and this time they were sending a much larger force. What can we do? Someone asked. Samantha looked at Kelly, Madeline, and Olivia. You three have been studying the ruins. Have you found anything that might help us? Kelly stepped forward. We think the technology in the ruins might be a weapon or at least a power source that could give us an advantage, but we need more time to understand it. How much time? Samantha asked. Kelly looked at Olivia and Madeline. More than we have, she admitted, but we will keep trying. Colony shifted focus. Everyone worked on preparations. Some built defenses. Others helped Kelly and her team with the alien technology. Mining equipment was converted into weapons. Solar collectors were modified to power shield generators. 1 week before the Crystal Fleet would arrive, Olivia worked with Kelly in the main chamber of the ruins. They had connected their computers to the central device, trying to understand its principles. Olivia noticed something strange in the data. A pattern that repeated every few minutes. Kelly, look at this, she said, pointing to her screen. Kelly studied the pattern. It's like a heartbeat, she said. but it's speeding up. The device is becoming more active. The blue glow from the core grew brighter. The energy. Readings increased. Is it responding to us, Kelly wondered, or is it responding to them? Those ships coming toward us. Madeline rushed into the chamber. Her face was pale. They are communicating, she said. The ships are sending signals to the ruins, Echo. Devices are answering. The three women looked at each other as understanding dawned. The ruins were not just an abandoned outpost. They were a dormant base waiting to be activated, and now with the Crystal Fleet approaching, the base was waking up. The colony of New Haven buzzed with activity as the Crystal Fleet approached. Every colonist worked to prepare for the coming battle. People who had trained as scientists and farmers now learned to use makeshift weapons. Olivia Reeves, Kelly Winters, and Madeline Wright spent every waking moment in the ruins. Their small research team had set up equipment throughout the crystal structure trying to understand the alien technology. Before the fleet arrived, Captain Samantha visited the ruins to check their progress. She found the three women in the central chamber surrounded by computers and equipment. The fleet will be here in 3 days, she said. How are we doing? Kelly looked up from her work with dark circles under her eyes. We made progress, but not enough. The central device had grown brighter since it began receiving signals from the approaching fleet. The blue core now pulsed with intense light, filling the chamber with shifting shadows. We discovered something important, Madeline said. The technology here is designed to control energy in ways our science thought impossible, but the builders deliberately limited what it can do. What do you mean? Samantha asked. Someone modified these devices, Kelly explained. It is like finding a powerful engine with half its parts removed. It should be capable of much more than it currently does. Olivia pointed to symbols etched into the crystal walls. I think these are warnings or restrictions. The builders of these ruins limited the technology on purpose. But why, Samantha wondered. I have a theory. Madeline said the energy manipulation capabilities would make power unlimited and free. If everyone had access to this technology, it would be impossible for any central authority to control resources or travel. The four women looked at each other as they considered the implications. You think these crystal ships belong to some kind of empire? Samantha said. One that maintains control by restricting technology. It makes sense. Olivia nodded. Their attack on us happened right after our fusion drive did something that should be impossible according to conventional physics. They seemed shocked more than angry. The builders of this empire may have discovered principles of physics that could give everyone unlimited power, Kelly added. But instead of sharing that knowledge, they suppressed it, keeping the full capabilities only for themselves. Madeline gestured to the central device. The energy patterns match exactly what happened during our escape. The fusion drive accidentally tapped into these same principles. Our accident revealed capabilities the Empire has been hiding. The next day, Olivia made a discovery while studying data from their sensors. She rushed to find Kelly and Madeline. The ships are not just communicating with the ruins, she explained. They are scanning us looking for signs that we understand the technology. Kelly frowned. They want to know if we've figured out their secrets. Exactly, Olivia said. And I think I know how to use that against them. She showed them her plan. The three women worked through the night modifying their equipment and the central device. Their idea was dangerous, but it might be their only chance. On the day the Crystal Fleet arrived, the sky above New Haven filled with shimmering vessels. They hung in orbit like deadly jewels, beautiful and terrifying. The colonists watched from shelters and defensive positions, wondering if they would survive the day. Olivia, Kelly, and Madeline remained in the central chamber of the ruins. Samantha joined them as the first energy reading showed the fleet preparing weapons. This is it, Samantha said. Are you ready? Olivia nodded. Our plan is simple. When they attack, the fleet will use energy weapons. Those weapons work on the same principles as the technology in these ruins. Kelly continued. We modified the central device to absorb that energy. The more they attack, the more power we collect. and then Madeline finished. We redirect that power through the configuration. We discovered the one the Empire has been hiding from its own people. The first attack came with blinding speed. Beams of purple energy sliced down from orbit, targeting the colony and the ruins. The ground shook. Buildings collapsed. Colonists ran for deeper shelter. In the central chamber, the four women watched their instruments. The central device glowed brighter with each attack. Its blue light turned purple, then white. The chamber hummed with power. "Is it working?" Samantha asked, holding on to a console as the ground trembled. "Better than we hoped," Kelly replied. "The readings are off the scale. They must be using their most powerful weapons." A direct hit shook the ruins. Cracks appeared in the crystal walls. Dust fell from the ceiling. Olivia typed commands into her console. The central device pulsed in response. More energy flowed into it from the attacks above. The white glow intensified, becoming almost too bright to look at. Olivia shouted. Kelly pressed a series of controls. The device changed. Its crystal components rotated into a new configuration. Power surged through pathways that had been dormant for centuries. A shield of energy expanded from the ruins, covering the colony like a dome. The purple beams from the fleet could not penetrate it. They bent around the shield or reflected back toward space. Some hit the attacking ships, causing damage. The fleet stopped firing. "We did it," Kelly said, her voice filled with wonder. "But this is just the beginning." Madeline moved to another console. "This is the important part." She activated a transmission system they had connected to the device. It began broadcasting on all frequencies. The message contained data, not words, energy patterns and formulas, the basic principles of what they, now called wildfire physics, the knowledge the Empire had been hiding. "According to our theory," Olivia explained to Samantha, "if these ships are part of an empire that maintains control by restricting this technology, then sharing the basic principles with everyone would threaten that control, and you're broadcasting those principles." Samantha realized, to the fleet, not just to them. Madeline said, "The transmission is going to every receiver in range, including civilian ships and communication systems, throughout nearby space." The console showed the transmission spreading. The shield continued to protect them, but now served another purpose. It ensured they could keep broadcasting long enough for the message to spread. The fleet began firing again. With increased intensity, their attacks grew desperate. The shield weakened in places but held. The central device drew power from the attacks, using it to strengthen the transmission. 1 hour passed. Then 2. The attacks continued. The shield flickered, but the broadcast went on, spreading further with each minute. Suddenly the attack stopped. The fleet pulled back, regrouping at a higher orbit. "They realized what we're doing," Kelly said, "but it's too late. The transmission has reached too far. They can't stop it now." Olivia checked the sensors. "The fleet is breaking formation. Some ships are leaving orbit. They seem to be arguing among themselves." That night the colony celebrated their survival. But Olivia, Kelly, and Madeline knew the battle was just beginning. They had revealed secrets kept hidden for generations. An empire would not fall so easily. In the central chamber of the ruins, Olivia studied the transmission data. The knowledge was spreading through nearby star systems. Reports came in of other species receiving their message. Ships appeared in orbit, offering alliance rather than attack. She thought about the journey that had brought them here. A navigation error, a desperate escape, a discovery that changed everything. The colonists had called this place New Haven, seeking only safety. But now they found themselves at the center of something much larger, a challenge to an empire built on controlled knowledge, and it had only just begun. Weeks passed after the battle for New Haven. The colony grew stronger with each day, but so did their awareness of the wider conflict they had ignited. The human settlement now stood at the center of a growing rebellion against the Xyrilian Empire. Olivia stood on the landing pad, watching as another alien ship descended from the sky. This one had smooth, organic curves, unlike the crystal ships of the Empire. Its surface rippled with colors that shifted like oil on water. That makes 5 different species. This week alone, Kelly said as she joined Olivia on the platform. Madeline approached with her tablet. 5 species seeking alliance against the Empire, she corrected, and 3 more requesting the wildfire, physics data. The ship landed gently. A door melted open in its side. 3 beings emerged. Their bodies were tall and slender with 4 arms and skin that changed color with their emotions. Currently they glowed, a calm, blue captain. Samantha greeted the visitors with the standard gesture they had developed for alien contact. Both hands open, palms forward, showing peace. The leader of the visitors returned the gesture, adding a bow. Its skin shifted to a friendly green. "We are the Nelvari." It spoke through a translation device. Its voice had a musical quality. "The device you call wildfire has awakened memories in our oldest records, technologies our ancestors once used before the Empire came. Welcome to New Haven." Samantha replied, "We have much to discuss." Inside the colony meeting hall, representatives from 7 different species gathered around a table. The room buzzed with different languages, all translated through devices modified with wildfire principles. The translation was now instant and perfect. Another benefit of the OW technology the Empire had suppressed. Olivia listened as each species shared their history with the Zarelian Empire. Stories of conquest, technological restrictions, and constant surveillance. All described the same pattern: the Empire would arrive, sharing limited technologies, then gradually take control using their superiority in energy manipulation and faster than light travel. The Nelvari speaker leaned forward. "Once we had ships that could travel between stars in days using principles similar to your wildfire physics. Then the Zarelians came offering alliance. They replaced our technology with theirs, slower, more controlled. After generations, we forgot what was possible." Madeline nodded. "The same story we keep hearing. The Empire deliberately erased knowledge, replacing it with controlled alternatives, a reptilian being from a species called the Treskin." Spoke next. "The Empire spreads across thousands of worlds. All follow the same pattern. Knowledge flows to the center, never outward. The Imperial family holds the true secrets, passing them only to their chosen successors. This explains why they reacted so strongly to our wildfire drive." Olivia said, "Our accident revealed what they have been hiding." The meeting continued. For hours, reports came in from distant systems. The wildfire data was spreading faster than the Empire could contain it. On hundreds of worlds, beings experimented with the principles, creating their own versions of the technology back in the ruins, which now served as their research center. Olivia and Kelly worked on improving their understanding of wildfire physics. The central chamber had become a laboratory filled with equipment, both human and alien. Kelly adjusted a small device they had. Built using the principles, it generated a bubble of distorted space, similar to what had happened during their escape from the crystal ships, but controlled and stable. "The Empire has been suppressing this knowledge for thousands of years," Kelly said. "Just think of the progress that could have been made if it had been freely shared." Olivia nodded. "Instead, they built a society where power and resources are controlled from the center. A system that depends on most people not knowing what is possible." They were interrupted by an alarm. A communication from one of their new allies. The message appeared on their screen. It showed images of massive ships emerging from hyperspace near the edge of the star system. These were not like the crystal ships that had attacked before. These were much larger. The smallest was the size of a small moon. The largest resembled a moving planet, the Eternal Guard. The message warned. The Empire's elite force. Madeline rushed into the chamber. "The Imperial Palace has activated their forbidden weapons," she said breathlessly. "Our allies in nearby systems are reporting movement on a scale never seen before. The Empress herself has taken command." Kelly looked at the readings coming from their sensors. The approaching ships used wildfire physics, but at levels far beyond what they had achieved. The Imperial family had kept the most advanced applications for themselves. Olivia turned to her friends. This was always their advantage. She said, "They claim that wildfire technology is forbidden while secretly using it themselves." Captain Samantha called an emergency meeting with their allies. The situation was dire. The Eternal Guard would arrive within days. Their weapons could destroy the moon or even the planet below. We must evacuate, the leader of the Nelvari said. My ship can carry 200 of your people. Others offered similar help. But evacuating all 500 colonists would be impossible in the time they had. Even with wildfire drives, the nearest safe systems were too far. Olivia studied the data on the approaching fleet. There was a pattern to their movement, a formation that suggested a strategy. She realized they were not just coming to destroy New Haven, they were positioning to contain the spread of information, to cut off communications with the systems that had already received the wildfire data. They want to isolate us, she told Samantha, then crush the rebellion before it can spread further. What can we do? Madeline asked. We have to spread the knowledge even further, Olivia said. Beyond their ability to contain, we need to reach the central worlds of the Empire. The core systems have the strongest defenses. Kelly pointed out. We would never get close enough. Maybe we don't have to go there ourselves, Samantha said, looking at the alien representatives. What if we coordinate with all resistance groups? A simultaneous broadcast from multiple points. The plan took shape quickly, using the communication network they had established with their new allies. They coordinated a massive effort. Every ship with wildfire capability would position itself at strategic points throughout the Empire. Each would broadcast the complete wildfire physics data, targeting the most populated systems. But they needed time. The Eternal Guard would arrive before they could fully implement the plan. Kelly proposed a solution. We can modify the colony's defense shield, she explained. Make it stronger. Using everything we've learned about wildfire physics, the work began. Immediately, everyone in the colony contributed. Colonists worked alongside their alien allies. The shield generators were rebuilt with new components. The power systems were enhanced. Olivia and Kelly spent days without sleep, fine-tuning the wildfire configurations. When the Eternal Guard arrived, the shield was ready. It extended beyond the atmosphere of the moon, covering not just the colony, but the entire celestial body. The Imperial ships fired weapons beyond anything the colonists had seen, before beams that seemed to bend reality itself. Energy pulses that created temporary black holes, space torpedoes that phased through normal matter. The shield held. Barely energy readings fluctuated. The generators overheated, but continued functioning. The wildfire principles they had discovered proved more resilient than even they had hoped. From inside the shield, the colonists launched small drones, tiny vessels barely larger than a human hand. Each carried the complete wildfire data and was programmed to avoid detection. They slipped through gaps in the Imperial formation, moving at speeds that made them nearly impossible to track. The battle raged for days. The shield weakened but never failed. The drones spread outward. Some were destroyed, but others reached their destinations, transmitting the data to resistance groups throughout the Empire. Reports came in from distant systems. The coordinated broadcast had begun. The knowledge was spreading faster than ever. Olivia monitored the Imperial communications. They were growing desperate. Orders came directly from the Empress: deploy the reality anchor. The weapon of last resort. What is a reality anchor? Kelly asked. Madeline checked the resistance archives we received from our allies. It says, the reality anchor is a device that can rewrite the laws of physics within a limited area. It makes wildfire principles impossible to use. They all understood what this meant. The Empire was willing to change the nature of reality itself to maintain control. A new reading appeared on their sensors. Something massive approaching from the edge of the system. A ship larger than any they had seen before. Its shape was impossible to define, shifting and changing as if it existed in multiple dimensions. At once the Empress has come, Olivia said. She brings their ultimate weapon. The Empress ship approached New Haven like a storm made solid. Its surface rippled with energy patterns that hurt human eyes to look at directly. All communications fell silent, as if the very concept of information transfer was being suppressed. In the colony command center, Olivia, Kelly, and Madeline gathered with Captain Samantha and representatives from their allied species. The mood was grim, but determined. Our shield will not hold against that ship, the Nelvari leader said. Its voice trembled, Its skin had turned a pale white color of deep fear. We received reports from the inner systems, Madeline reported. The wildfire data has reached 80% of Imperial worlds. People everywhere are building their own devices. The knowledge can't be contained anymore, but the Empress doesn't care about containing it anymore, Kelly said, looking at the sensor readings. She wants to erase it completely, starting with us. The strange ship stopped just beyond the moon's orbit. It seemed to bend the space around it. Stars visible near its edges appeared distorted and wrong. A transmission cut through all communication channels, bypassing encryption and security measures. A figure appeared on screens throughout the colony, a Xyrelian but different from those they had seen before. Her crystal body structure was more complex, with patterns that suggested age and power. Her voice resonated with authority that transcended the translation. "I am Empress Zyvax, ruler of the Eternal Empire," she announced. "For 10,000 years, my family has guided civilization through the stars. We have maintained order and prevented chaos. We have controlled dangerous knowledge that would destroy reality itself." The Empress paused, her crystal features shifting into what might have been sadness. "You humans with your primitive understanding have unleashed forces beyond your comprehension. The technology you call wildfire was restricted for a reason. Its full potential can tear apart the fabric of existence. It must be controlled by those with the wisdom to use it properly." Captain Samantha stepped forward, sending her image back through the open channel. "You kept this knowledge to maintain your power," she said, "not to protect others. Your empire is built on lies and suppression." The Empress did not show anger, only cold determination. "So be it," she replied. "You leave me no choice." The Imperial ship began to change. Its fluid surface hardened, forming enormous crystalline structures that extended outward. Like reaching fingers, energy built within it, creating patterns that violated fundamental laws of physics. "The reality anchor is activating," Olivia warned, watching her instruments. The readings show space-time distortions expanding from the Empress ship. Kelly studied the data. "They are trying to create a bubble of altered physics where wildfire principles don't work. But the effect is unstable. The anchor is consuming incredible amounts of energy." On screens throughout the colony, the Empress spoke. "Again, this region of space will be cleansed. The laws of physics will be reset to their proper state. Your dangerous knowledge will be erased along with your existence." Olivia looked at Kelly and Madeline, a plan forming in her mind. "If the anchor changes how physics works in this region," she said, "then we need to be outside that region when it happens. But we can't evacuate in time." Madeline protested. "We don't evacuate," Olivia replied. "We take the fight to them." Kelly understood immediately. "We use wildfire principles to create our own bubble around their ship, containing the anchor effect." The idea spread quickly throughout the colony and to their allies. Each ship with wildfire capability would coordinate, creating a networked field around the Empress vessel. The humans would provide the core algorithm, using everything they had learned about the technology. Madeline configured the communication systems to coordinate the Allied fleet. Olivia and Kelly modified the colony's main wildfire device to project a containment field. The Nelvari and other allies positioned their ships in a spherical formation surrounding the Empress vessel. The reality anchor continued powering up space. Near the Imperial ship rippled and distorted. Plants withered. Animals fell sick. Electrical systems failed. The laws of reality were being rewritten from the inside out. Now, Olivia commanded. Kelly activated their device. The central crystal from the ruins pulsed with blinding white light. The Allied ships fired beams of wildfire energy, not as weapons but as connectors, forming a network around the Imperial vessel. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the distortion slowed. Its expansion halted, contained within the network of wildfire energy. The Empress ship tried to break free, firing weapons that should have destroyed planets. But the weapon's energy was caught in the containment field, feeding it, making it stronger. On the communication channels, the Empress face showed surprise for the first time. "You cannot contain a reality anchor," she said. "It will consume your wildfire field." She was partly right. The readings showed the containment field weakening. The anchor was too powerful. It would break free soon. We need to reverse it, Kelly said. Not just contain it but redirect it. Olivia thought about what they had learned about wildfire physics. The principles allowed energy to be redirected. It's what had happened during their first escape. The impossible maneuver that had started everything. Made adjustments to their device, changing the configuration. The central crystal rotated into a new pattern. The containment field shifted. Its energy flow reversed instead of holding the anchor in it, began to push the effect back toward the Empress ship. The Imperial vessel shuddered as its own reality anchor turned inward. The distortions that would have destroyed New Haven now focused on the ship itself. Its crystalline extensions cracked and shattered. Space bent around it in impossible ways on the command channel. The Empress image flickered. "This is not possible," she said. "The wildfire technology cannot be used this way. We are the only ones who know its true potential." The truth hit Olivia with sudden clarity. That was the Empire's greatest lie, not that wildfire physics was dangerous, but that only they could master it. The knowledge had been suppressed not to protect others but to maintain control. The Empress ship collapsed in on itself as the reality anchor fully reversed. Its massive form twisted into shapes that human minds could not process. Then, in a flash of light that briefly outshone the system, it was gone, leaving only scattered crystalline fragments drifting through space. The Eternal Guard vessels stopped attacking. Some fled, others surrendered. The revolution that had begun with an accidental discovery spread throughout the Empire. In the days that followed, representatives from hundreds of species arrived at New Haven. The colony became a center for sharing knowledge rather than conquering the Empire. The humans had helped dismantle its foundations of restricted information. 1 month after the Empress defeat, Olivia stood with Kelly Madeline and Captain Samantha on a platform built near the ruins. Crowd of beings from dozens of worlds gathered before them. The Nelvari leader stepped forward. "What began as an accident has freed thousands of worlds," it said, its skin glowing a bright, hopeful yellow. "For generations we lived under the shadow of the Empire, never knowing what was possible. Now the knowledge flows freely again." Captain Samantha addressed the gathered species. "We came here by mistake," she said. "We were colonists looking for a new home. We never intended to challenge an empire. But when we discovered the truth, we could not stay silent." Olivia watched as beings of all shapes and sizes worked together, sharing their understanding of wildfire physics. Each species brought their own perspective, improving the knowledge. The technology that had been suppressed for millennia now evolved rapidly. No single power could control it now. The wildfire had spread too far. The empire that had ruled through technological suppression was replaced by a network of cooperative worlds, each developing their own applications of the principles. The humans of New Haven found themselves not as conquerors, but as catalysts. Their accidental discovery had ignited a transformation that would reshape civilization across thousands of worlds. Madeline joined Olivia as she looked out over the gathering. "Your navigation error turned out to be the most important mistake in history," she said with a smile. Olivia nodded. "Sometimes being lost leads to the most important discoveries. The ruins that had once been an outpost of empire now served as a school where knowledge flowed freely. The crystal structures gleamed in the sunlight, no longer mysterious but understood. The technology they contained, no longer suppressed, but shared in the central chamber. The wildfire device pulsed with steady blue light, its energy pattern stable and controlled, a reminder of how a small group of humans had accidentally challenged an empire and changed the course of history with fire.